Welcome back, YouTube, to more MSQ playthrough. We are on the moon. Let's go ahead and jump into it. We just defeated Zodiark. That's last we left off. Let's go ahead and speak with the Watcher. Before we speak at length, I believe a change of surrounds is in order. I have more than ill tidings to share, you see. I sensed others arriving not long ago. Though my communions with Heidelin have grown infrequent, I have learned enough from her to know these are your comrades, and as luck would have it, they have already reached my abode. Come, let us join them, and maybe get some answers as to how they can breathe, because not all of them had the ability to breathe underwater. So if that is in fact if it's the blessing from Stormblood to breathe underwater that allows us to breathe on the moon. And if Xenos can breathe on the moon because he has the echo, maybe it's because the echo? Because they have the echo. How would the echo give you... Nah, it's such a small thing, but it bugs me. It's bugging me. Somebody better say something about it. Thank goodness you are unharmed. We did what we could to subdue the Tempered before making our way here. Not without casualties, unfortunately. Some few detonated explosives, killing themselves and others. The contingent's healers had their hands full tending to the injured and enthralled when we took our leave. Lest you wonder, Mistress Kryl hath also been delivered unto their care. Serving as a conduit for Heidelin's power hath taken its toll, but she will recover in due course. As for Alphinaud and Alice, they insisted on remaining in Garlemald, while we three rushed to your aid. It appears, however, that matters here have already come to a conclusion. But what manner of conclusion, if I might ask? And is this the ally whom Heidelin bade you seek out? He is not unlike the shades of Amarat. Not unlike, perhaps, but not the same. I was created by Heidelin, together with this place. It has ever been my duty to keep vigil over Zodiark, or rather it was my duty. Curious that this was created by Heidelin, and it looks like the Asians were oh, no. That makes sense. Because where the Asians, the Aniter, that was of those who invoked and created Heidelin. So that makes sense that these would be the same. Okay. Zodiac is no more. Things are making sense. I'm putting it together. And not without consequence, I am afraid, for now the delicate weave of the star, preserved by his presence, will begin to unravel. If you mean to avert the final days, we shall have need of... Are you all right? My attempts to forestall Zodiac's release have all but exhausted my strength. If you might allow me to rest a short while, I will share with you all I can. Please do. You need not exert yourself on our account. These crystals contain records of your time here, yes? Maybe peruse them while we wait? By all means. If you would review them chronologically, might I suggest beginning with those on the upper floor? I shall leave that to you, MSQ, while I see what can be gleaned from the crystals on these lower levels. As you gaze into the crystal, ancient knowledge of Zodiac flows through your mind. Daily summary, 3 of which no abnormalities detected. These appear to be records of a long, lonely vigil on the moon, dating back to the beginning of Zodiac's imprisonment. As you gaze into the crystal, knowledge of past calamities flow through your mind. The records describe how, with each rejoining, Zodiac's thirst for freedom grew, as did the strain on the brands. Maintaining Zodiac's imprisonment appears to tax Heidelin greatly. As you gaze into the crystal, knowledge of past rejoinings flows through your mind. Records describe the Watch's efforts to prepare in the event Zodiac broke free from his prison. The records go on to describe maintenance carried out regularly with the Loporits, though it is not clear who or what they are. As you gaze into the crystal, a record of an unexpected visitor flows through your mind. The records note the Watcher's musings when Elidibus is spotted on the moon, though clearly not for the first time. It is clear he and his brethren have a keen interest in freeing Zodiac from his prison. Now it makes sense why, when we would see Elidibus, he would be on the moon. And yet they have made no attempt to destroy the brands. Perhaps they prefer he remained hidden from mortal eyes until the final rejoining. Perhaps they realize we would never dare bring harm to Zodiac so long as he remains imprisoned. And it makes sense. It makes sense. Every single time we saw Elidibus, he was on the moon. Did you learn anything of import? So it is as we suspected. Maintaining the brands requires a great deal of her energy and focus, and this cost has grown higher with every rejoining. That would explain why contact with her has become rather infrequent since the 7th umbral calamity. I too made a rather startling discovery. This heavenly body we know to be the moon was in fact created by Heidelin. When the Watcher said he was created together with this place, I thought he only meant this facility. Truly, Heidelin's powers are far beyond anything I could have imagined. I thank you for affording me this short reprieve.
It is we who should thank you. The records stored here are nothing short of extraordinary. There is much we could learn of Zodiac and his imprisonment, but perhaps you could offer us more focused guidance. Pray, tell us of the calamity that came before and comes now again.
Long ago, before the Great Sundering, there was but a single word, Aetheris. One day, from within the earth, a terrible cry issued forth, affecting a profound change in all manner of life. We were not exempt. Our creation magics ran rampant, giving shape and form to thoughts of hopelessness and despair. At first, the phenomenon was limited to a singular region, but quickly, so very quickly, it spread and engulfed the whole of the star.
Were the ancients ever able to deduce its source?
They were not. However, the convocation struck upon a method to predict where next the corruption would manifest. The etheric energies which flow through all of creation in the form of various currents. The currents which course through the land and seas. Those which flow through the very air. and those of a celestial nature which encompass both our star and this moon.
Celestial currents. I cannot say I am familiar with the concept.
Nor would I expect you to be. Few scholars of our time knew of their existence. Their invaluable knowledge helped us to better understand the nature of the calamity. Like the terrestrial ones of earth and air, the celestial currents form a vast network, but the ethereal distribution is not consistent. The convocation soon realized that the inciting incidents occurred in regions where the flow was weakest. Correlation without clear cause, ultimately. Nevertheless, on closer study, a stagnancy of aether was observed in nearby currents.
And so they sought a means to harness the forces of darkness, of activity and growth. Thus was Zodiac conceived. No less a power than a god's could set right the laws of nature and quicken the flow of ether within the star.
Precisely. With the advent of Zodiac, our end was averted.
Selk claimed that those who summoned Hydaelyn did so because they saw Zodiac's power as a threat. Is that true?
Indeed, there was a faction opposed to Zodiac's creation, but their aim was never to unmake him. They understood the continued preservation of the natural order was dependent on his very existence. Until we could identify and address the underlying cause of the final days, he would need remain, for his departure would set in motion those apocalyptic forces once more. Hydaelyn recognized this as well, and so rather than destroy, she sundered Zodiac herself and the star into lesser reflections, that she might confine him in this place. I could have sworn she beseeched me to banish the darkness. Perhaps she did, but as with all beings, intent is not always in accord with spoken word. Hydaelyn and Zodiac are both constructs of man, approximations of perfection limited by our own imperfections. Zodiac was, without question, the more powerful of the two, having been born from the sacrifice of half Aetherius' population. Thus was it necessary for Hydaelyn to commit herself wholly to his defeat. Still more effort was needed to confine him. Maintaining the brands taxed her greatly. With that power she dared spare, she cried out to any who might listen, and offered her blessing to those who heeded her call. Though it was likely within her power to do so, I believe she did not wish to speak of Aetherius and her history. Like Zodiac, Hydaelyn's purpose is a reflection of her creators. They wish to look to the future and not linger in a prison of the past.
The Ascians set in motion 7 rejoinings before we came to oppose them. How many more worlds would have been lost had we not placed our faith in her? How many more souls living in the present would have been snuffed out for the sake of those long dead?
Well, in light of recent events, I see no reason to doubt your words. And even if Hydaelyn is not a god in truth, if Minfilia believes that we should trust in her plans, then I choose to do just that. Which brings me to a rather important question.
How are we breathing on the moon?
Suppose we try but fail to stop this second coming of the final days. Should the source fall, what will become of the other worlds?
The nomenclature is more fitting than you know. Bring ruin to the source, and its reflections will share in its fate. It is ready. This way, if you would be so kind. A beautiful sight, is it not?
Yes, but what is it?
Hydaelyn knew better than any that her power was not absolute. Indeed, she has ever struggled to hold Zodiac and his faithful at bay. She feared the worst and so made preparations. In the event of his demise, there would be a contingency. This moon is more than a prison. It is a vessel capable of bearing the people of Ithyr's to safe harbor. You need not go far to find its pilots. In fact, I should be happy to take you to them and fulfill my final duty as Watcher in the dark. That's cool. That sword grows. What are these called? Bismuth. It's cool. Like transforms. The time has come for you to be on your way. The crater at the heart of Mare Lamentorum, where Zodiac was imprisoned, is not so easily traversed, however. Let us call upon Argos, the familiar whom you met earlier. He should have no trouble bearing you across. As Hydaelyn created me as the jailer, so too did she create Argos as the guard. It is his nature to appear when needed, and yet he is nowhere to be found. Strange. Mayhap the imbalancing of Aether has affected him. Let us make for the crushing brand and attempt to call upon him there. You need but recall the path you walked with Argos before, and you will find your way. If he labors in service to Hydaelyn's plan, I see no reason to do as he suggests not to do. Shall we make for this crushing brand, then? Once again, next to enemies. The place we seek is just ahead, at the Chlorosphogrot. You see, Argos cannot manifest without sufficient concentrations of ambient aether. You would be hard-pressed to find a greater confluence than inside this cavern. Follow me. Motherfucker. Yes, here will do nicely. The lunar spongoi draw aether from the ground, which is then dispersed in the air. At present, however, the ambient energies are not quite sufficient for Argos to manifest. Might you be willing to spare some of your own to help the spongoi along? Argos manifests in a flash. He seems glad to see you again. Most fascinating creation of Heidelin's, would you not agree? Should the need arise, he is even able to create reflections of himself on a whim. Excuse me, though I assure you it was no reflection which accompanied you earlier to the brand. No, Argos was quite eager to be at your side then, as he is now, it seems. I cannot recall when last he showed such an affinity for anyone. Indeed, I thought him more likely to shy away from you and your companions. Perhaps it was more than a sense of duty that compelled him to aid you before. For your companions. Unexpected, but greatly appreciated. I believe we are ready. Then let us return outside that you may cross the chasm. Your destination is the structure there across the Cradle of Darkness, but climb onto Argos' back and he will take care of the rest. Once you arrive, it should not take long for you to find the ship's crew. The facility is designed to rouse them from their slumber in the event of Zodiac's destruction. Heed their counsel. Together you may guide the star and its people to a kinder fate. This is where we part ways, but know that I shall ever be watching and praying for your success. Our allies' assurances notwithstanding, we cannot be certain what awaits us on the other side, so perhaps it would be best if we did not all go at once. I propose the two of us cross first, while Thancred and Urianger wait here. Onward! Malefic aether yet permeates from the crater. Remnants of Zodiac, most like. Just a little further. This structure is enormous, though that is hardly surprising given the size of the average Armoratine. Apologies for the wait. Right, then let us head inside and... Oh! Most intriguing. A means by which he conserveth energy, mayhap. Well, I certainly wouldn't want him to blink out of existence on our account, helpful as he's been. Thank you, Argos. We'll take things from here. If Argos is to remain without, let us not keep him waiting over long. Ominous music?
Our moonship pilot should be around here somewhere. Is that right?
They're so cute. So many.
Look lively, everyone! I know, this 1243rd inspection is a mite ahead of schedule, but it is of the utmost importance, for Zodiac, alas, is no more. As of now, our mighty moon has a new purpose, to bear the people of Etheirys to safety! Our time has come, my friends! We must be swifter than swift. There is much to do before our guests arrive. I expect your workstations to be immaculate. And don't forget to relay our signal to Etheirys. Questions? Yes? No? Maybe so? No? Then hop to it!
Tis a rather curious crew she hath chosen. Their endearing forms intended to ease the passengers' hearts, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Must be the Loperites mentioned in the Watcher's records. Not at all what I expected, but the Watcher did bid us heed their counsel. I assume the one who gave the rousing speech was their leader, though we might have to ask about it in order to track them down. Come on then, let us be about the song that's playing! Oh, it's so nostalgic. No, shut up, bring it back. Oh, I want to play old Final Fantasy so bad now. It's so hard. Oh my god. I could listen to this all day. Hum. The leader of the crew? Not me, I'm afraid. Stingenway is my name. I'm in charge of the construction and maintenance of the atmospheric circulation system. Only the crispest, cleanest air for the people of Etheirys, and that's a promise. Leader? No. Sleeping way. My job is... Perhaps I'd better ask. Oh, let's attune. What? How in the... When did you get here? Who let you in? Why wasn't I told? Take me to your leader. Leader? Ah, yes. Look no further. I am the one you seek. Well, well. Looks like you beat us here. Your friends, I take it. Is this all of them? A group comprised entirely of children. What must their parents be thinking? This isn't a nursery after all, though perhaps we should build one. Or did we build one already? No matter, you needn't worry your pretty little heads. All will be well, I promise. But goodness me, we shouldn't be standing about gawping. I must take you to meet the others. If you could run along back toward the entrance, you'll find a path that leads to the central platform on the upper floor. There's no wrong way to reach it, but it's the large glowing ball at the center if you should find yourselves lost. I shall gather the others and meet you there. Well then, back to the upper floor it is.
Right, of course. Introductions are in order. Ahem. My name is Livingway, and we are the Lotharics, created for the express purpose of commanding this ship and bearing the people of Atheris to a brave new world. More specifically, I am the one whom she charged with the execution of her most vital plans. You might say I'm her right paw. Livingway's the name, map reader and navigator of the heavens.
Pleasure to meet you all, but I'm still trying to make sense of this.
Confusion and bewilderment are completely understandable. Fear not, I shall walk you through it. The people of Atheris, through no fault of your own, I'm sure, set in motion a series of events that, unfortunately, culminated in Zodiac's obliteration. Acutely aware of the imminent crisis, your parents sent you little ones on ahead while they began the necessary preparations. Still not following? No? Very well, I shall elaborate further. Here, we have Atheris, your home, and the moon, where we are now. Without Zodiac around to keep things lively, so to speak, the celestial currents of the star have doubtless begun to degrade. A calamity of apocalyptic proportions will be visited upon Atheris, bringing an end to all life. Very sad, that.
So too hath the Watcher claimed. By thine unperturbed countenance, I gather this eventuality was anticipated.
The doom and gloom. Oh yes, quite expected. Imagine, if you will, that Atheris is a delicious carrot that I've forgotten to eat and left out in the midday sun. The most earnest wishes or prayers will not stop it from rotting to the core. So sadly, there's nothing to be done but to abandon said carrot, Atheris, in case the metaphor is lost on you, to its grisly fate.
And this moon will serve as the vessel to deliver us to a new home.
Just so! We will gather up as many people, supplies, and resources as our stores will hold. And then, once everyone is aboard, it's off to another star. Easier said than done, admittedly, for one does not simply hop from star to star on a whim, which is precisely why we've spent countless years constructing the most propulsive of propulsion systems. We'll ought to make it to our destination in 2 shakes of a rabbit's tail.
Impressive technology. I dare say it is beyond anything we have ever seen.
No need to shower us with praise. All we've done is faithfully carry out the instructions left to us by Heidelin back in the old days, when she was still just Venar. She was dedicated to the study of the world and its inner workings.
Name drop.
And the Watcher, the real one, not the simulacrum you met, was one of her fellow researchers.
Lore drop.
She and this wondrous vessel masquerading as a moon are products of their knowledge and know-how.
History drop.
There's certainly more to you all than meets the eye. Might I ask where exactly you intend to take us?
We identified a few promising candidates for resettlement some time ago, but we cannot guarantee that they are fit for habitation. Moreover, the ship can only travel in short bursts. We intend to go down our list, hopping from star to star, until we find one suitable for resettlement. No need to worry, though. The vessel is being refurbished with accommodation for an extended stay as we speak. While we did have to rely upon outside help to determine what amenities were essential, I dare say we have risen to the challenge.
Help? From who?
Litibus?
From you and yours! Who else? Each time we woke to perform regularly scheduled maintenance, we were greeted by the resources you sent us. What better way to learn about preferences and proclivities of our present-day charges? Ah, but you're still adorable little children. Perhaps your elders were responsible for the deliveries.
I'm not sure what led you to conclude otherwise, but I can assure you that we are all grown men and women, and I very much doubt my elders know this place exists, much less how to send you so much as a starlight missive.
What? Then who in blazes let you on my moon? Heidelin herself led you here. You don't say! Well, that's really not children. Then why are you so small and stunted? Like little baby carrot people.
Well, Amarotines were a great deal taller. In the present day, persons of such prodigious size are exceedingly rare.
So, you're saying everyone's not like the Watcher? Oh, confound it all! Someone could have at least scribbled a note about your profound miniaturization.
That tome in thy possession.
Oh, this? One of the first books sent to us. A compendium of the people of Atheris, with a few blank pages at the back for minor corrections and updates as needed. The sum total of our knowledge of your kind is contained in these pages. I thought it was abridged and made small for our benefit, but this isn't a regular-sized book, is it? Building way, can you hear me? Yes, we're all very busy. Change of plans. I need you to rebuild the domiciles at 1/3 the scale. All of them. Yes, all of them, and but me no buts. See to it with all speed.
Perhaps you could tell us a bit more about your terrestrial collaborators.
Yes, in due time. But first, I'd like to hear more about you, if it's all the same. I'd rather not risk any other complications due to outdated knowledge of our passengers-to-be.
So many questions. Look at that chess piece. Saiga skin. Right then, now that you're here, we need to teach you all you can about your people, and quickly. It won't be long before the final days are upon us in all their terrible grandeur, so it is imperative that we be prepared to receive our passengers to be. If there is anything at all, that may displease them, it must be addressed post-haste. And address it we shall. Here at Best Ways Bureau, we have assembled everything required to offer our guests the best way forward. We have produced myriad amenities we understand to be essential for day-to-day living, and I wish to hear your opinions on them. I'm sure you've all worked up an appetite, so why don't we start with foodstuffs? Meet me at the Caratorium, and we'll see about filling your bellies. She does not want for enthusiasm. The notion of Aetherius rotting to its core being a matter of course is rather concerning, though. Nevertheless, let us take this opportunity to learn more of the Lawbirds and this vessel. There's a lot of hang time. Welcome to the Caratorium. Here we create prototypes of the various sundries required by our soon-to-be passengers. Allow me to introduce the head of Foodstuffs Production, Cooking Way. Pleased to meet you all. Our work has involved no small amount of trial and error, but after many, many cycles of painstaking labor, I dare say we have created the finest cuisine our guests could ask for. I've learned all about the essential nutrients for a healthy and balanced diet from the reference materials we received. Why, I've practically worn the words from those invaluable pages. Naturally, we've also considered ease of growth and production. We will not want for ingredients. I must insist you try some. We have fresh stock recently prepared on account of, well, because we just woke up, and we're all quite famished. Hop along the platforms here and you'll find a storage unit full to bursting with delectable delights. Help yourself to anything you like. You open the storage unit and find a rainbow-colored assortment of carrots. There's a crimson carrot, a vibrant yellow, peculiar-looking blue, and an assuming orange. Let's do the crimson. The soft texture and redolent aroma of this crimson creation belly its staggering weight. The excessive length and girth only compound the mystery, leaving you perplexed as to the nature of this carrot. On second thought, you would like to simply take an obscenely large carrot for now. Due to its bizarre qualities, it would be prudent to ask Cooking Way whether it's safe to eat first. So, did any of our selections set your mouth to watering? Ah, yes, a fine choice. One of my personal favorites, actually. Please dig in. I'm eager to hear what you think. With great trepidation, you take a bite out of the carrot. It's oddly tender, but as you begin to chew, a rich aroma fills your nostrils. A newfound vigor begins welling within you, and the rumbling of your stomach, however, suggests it may simply be indigestion. What did you think? Unlike anything you've ever tasted, yes? The iron carrot can be a bit difficult to digest, but the boost to endurance it promises makes its perfect meal before a day of heavy lifting. We have plenty of other varieties too. Bleeding carrots to improve blood flow, dream carrots to help with sleep. So you see, we have a carrot for every occasion. Carrots are extraordinary. Then why do you seem so disappointed? If they're lacking somehow, we need to know. I take it you too had a wide assortment of carrots to choose from and naught else? If I may ask, what exactly did these collaborators share with you about cuisine on Etheris? Surely you are aware we have an abundance of dishes and foods you could emulate? Of course we are, but well, it was only quite recently that we established contact. Even holding a conversation was a struggle at first, so imagine our surprise when they sent a mountain of books and documents with no clear instructions. The sheer amount of information was overwhelming. If it wasn't for that encyclopedia I found, we would have been at a loss where to begin. So we decided, rather than divide our resources to prepare a variety of middling and potentially unsatisfying meals, it would be more efficient to devote our efforts to the production of a single perfect food. That's all well and good, but man cannot live on raw carrots alone. Have you considered cooking them? You mean steaming, boiling, roasting, and the like? I suppose we could prepare the carrots in other ways, but our primary concern was efficiency. And what's more efficient than sinking your teeth into a carrot fresh from production? A rather strange approach to take one named Cooking Way, isn't it? Well, technically speaking, Cooking Way isn't my given name. When first created, we were all named in the old tongue. You know, what otherwise impenetrable parlance the Watcher speaks. After we received a great tome of words, a dictionary that is, from our collaborators, we learned your language. Adverbs, gerunds, present continuous verb conjugations, just the basics. Then we found the terms related to our given tasks and used them to form new names. Aren't they helpful? No, not really, but it does explain a great deal. Wherefore didst thy kind deem such a change necessary? When the rest of your people arrive, we want to be certain they understand immediately what each of us does. You'd never be able to pronounce our original names anyway. I see. I hope our critiques, such as they are, were helpful to you, though if you should decide to preserve flora and fauna from Etheris as well, you would be able to offer the passengers a more balanced diet. Until such a day, one I pray comes sooner than later, it would appear there is naught but carrots on the menu. I think we've had our fill of carrots for now. Let's move on to the other necessities, shall we? Our clothing production is pure to impress. This way. Why are there enemies here? Oh, the music, the battle music. Oh, the battle music. Oh, the battle music. It's so good. So nostalgic. Holy shit balls. Don't let it end. Here we are, the apparel production station. We've chosen to employ more traditional methods for this task. Creation magics. Heidelin, in her infinite wisdom, blessed us with the selfsame affinity for magic her people possessed. We have other amazing talents, of course, and I know you're dying to hear about them, but I will regale you with the details another time. That said, we did run into a spot of trouble at first. Our magic alone was not sufficient to see our work done. In the end, we discovered crystallized aether was a wonderful catalyst that could provide us with the extra viz we needed. My, how resourceful. Ah, the sweet sound of recognition. You'll also be impressed to hear we've read all about your habit of changing attire to match your chosen profession. For the sake of efficiency, I presume. It has also been taken into account with our designs. By the way, but why take my word for it when you can simply try on your clothes? Make yourselves known to the workers and they will see to the rest. It's you, one of the visitors from Aetherus. Goodness me, mapping me wasn't kidding. You really are smaller than the Watcher. Oh, right, you're here to try on a set of clothes, yes? What would you have me fashion for you today? How about a fashionable and refined ensemble? Fashionable, right. This will only take a moment. Dear God. There we are, all finished. A perfect fit, if I do say so myself. I'll be honest, I know nothing of fashion, let alone fashion on Aetherus, but I'd wager no one down there has ever worn anything like this fine ensemble. Perhaps you can start a new trend. Would you look at that? Speechless. And there I thought you might not like it. If you've a mind to try something else, why not speak with my fellow artisans? I'm sure they'd be happy to oblige. You must continue wearing these garments in order to progress. You will change back to your normal garments if you move too far away. No one said you'd be coming. How can I help you? You wish to try my clothes? Really? Of course. It'd be my honor. Do you have anything in mind? Or anything with a little more flair? I think I can handle that. Let's see. This should do. Some of my best work yet. Times and tastes truly have changed. It used to be so rare for anyone to request clothing with a focus on form over function. Thankfully, I had a spare concept for robes made using a different fabric. I think it looks rather fetching. I was worried how the concept would turn out when put to the proof, but it looks stunning on you. Once you go and show Living Way, I'm sure she's eager to see what we've come up with. My, don't we look splendid. The result of much trial and error, but I know quality work when I see it. Shh, you didn't mean it speak. I can see your adoration for the moon and the wheel orbits in your eyes. No doubt your friends feel the same, having sampled our creations. Sorry to have kept you waiting. They insisted we sample all of their concepts ere we returned. Verily, 'tis an ensemble most becoming. I think it's past time we returned these clothes. So confident our garments would meet with your approval. Whatever are we doing wrong? The Watcher taught us that in his time everyone wore the same robes. To do otherwise was against social etiquette. We thought we could appeal to modern taste by tailoring the robes to specific professions, but... Please, you mustn't be so hard on yourself. Should we resort to evacuating the people of Aetherus, they will most certainly have need of your attire. It is clear you spared no effort in addressing our needs, but you must understand that we are not so quite homogeneous. Speaking for myself, what I wear now better suits my taste, even if it is of inferior make. But there are others whose choices may be influenced by traditions or personal experience. Rather than make assumptions for the whole, you must consider the individual and their potential preference. I fear we've underestimated the complexity and diversity of your people. Even if we'd memorized every tome we received, I doubt we'd have fared much better. Maybe we're doing you a disservice trying to shower you with our baubles and frippery, thinking it was for your benefit when you'd be better off on your own. There are some who might agree, people who prefer to keep others at arm's length, even when they know they shouldn't. As one such formal fool, I'd like to ask you a question. This plan to evacuate and escape the final days, did it account for the reflections of the source as well? Not that I'm aware of. We were born of Heidelin's love for Aetheris and the salvation of the people on the star, and that star alone has ever been our aim. Surely it's better to devote ourselves to saving one world than to divide our efforts across 14 and risk failing them all. I suppose you're right. Living Way, might we have leave to explore Best Way Bureau unattended? You've given us much to think about. Why, certainly. Until later, then. If I may, I should like to accompany thee a while longer. Really? I mean, you're more than welcome to. There was actually something I wish to speak with you about. Let's be off then, shall we? And we'll figure out who the fidgeting Loprit is in the next one. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, guys. And I hope you take care.